This is Nightline and I'm Muhammed Hamdan, and here are the top stories. Flood situation worsens as the number of evacuees rises to over 16,000 nationwide. And residents flee as landslide strikes Seputeh apartment complex in Kuala Lumpur. Good morning. We begin with this headlining story. All agencies in charge of national disasters are on full alert following floods in 7 states due to continuous heavy rain nationwide, with Kelantan currently the worst hit state. More than 100,000 personnel and assets from government agencies have been activated to ensure readiness for aid and rescue. According to the Prime Minister, he was closely monitoring the worsening flood situation, even from abroad in Kenya, where he's currently on an official visit. In his social media post on Monday, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the floods had affected more than 15,000 people across 7 states. The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, together with all relevant agency assets, has been fully mobilized to affected areas to rescue those still trapped, as well as to ensure aid reaches all victims promptly. The Special Malaysia Search and Rescue Team, SMART, has been deployed to Kelantan, the hardest hit state, and is on standby to move to other states to accelerate rescue operations and emergency aid on the ground. In addition, the government has mobilized a Squad Ihsan Madani to all affected areas to assist in managing the welfare of flood victims at nearly 100 temporary evacuation centers opened across the 7 states. The government has also ensured that the evacuees are supplied with adequate basic food items, tents, personal necessities and medications. All flood victims as well as residents in high-risk areas have been urged to comply with instructions issued by the authorities to prevent and reduce the impact of the disaster on lives and property. In another development, Education Director General Muhammad Ahmad said preparations have been made to assist SPM candidates affected by the floods.
Semua pihak jangan bimbang kerana KPM bersama-sama dengan agensi kerajaan yang terlibat dalam Ops Payung SPM ini telah melalui pengalaman yang panjang dalam mengendalikan peperiksaan SPM dalam musim hujan dan bencana banjir.
He added that flood operations rooms have also been activated in schools. Any candidates or SPM invigilators facing difficulties reaching their examination centers are advised to contact their school examination officer or the respective SPM desk officer. Meanwhile, the Higher Education Ministry, in a statement, said it has allowed flood-affected universities and colleges to switch to online teaching and learning to ensure that classes continue without disruption. Flood operation centers at affected institutions have also been activated to provide students, staff and parents with timely updates as well as immediate support such as food, temporary shelter and essential supplies. The ministry also urged all institution staff affected by the floods to prioritize their personal safety, remain in safe areas and follow the instructions of the authorities and security personnel. As over 16,000 people have been evacuated nationwide as at Monday night, flooding in Kelantan remains severe, with almost 10,000 victims taking refuge in 40 temporary evacuation centres or PPS across 4 districts. The evacuees comprise more than 3,593 families. Tumpat is the worst affected, with over 5,000 people from 1,978 families sheltering in 13 PPS. In Kota Baru, more than 2,800 flood victims from nearly 1,000 families are accommodated in 19 PPS. Other affected districts include Bachok, where 7 PPS are housing approximately 1,800 people, and Pasir Puteh, which has 1 PPS sheltering 140 evacuees. The flood situation in Perlis is also worsening, with both Arau and Kanga are now affected. A total of 1,718 evacuees from 514 families have been reported across 9 PPS in the state. Water overflow began in most areas around 10 p.m. on Sunday night, making many main roads impassable for light vehicles. Even areas that have not experienced flooding for many years are now forced to face the same fate. In Arau, rescue operations are actively underway at Padang Siding, coordinated by various security agencies. Meanwhile, in Kanga, residential areas around Bintong and Tebing Tinggi, which have not experienced flooding in years, are now severely affected. And elsewhere in Selangor, rising water levels have forced the evacuation of over 1,168 people to 13 temporary centres. Several areas in 5 districts are affected, including Taman Desa Kemuning and Taman Seri Muda in Shah Alam, and Kampung Delek Kapar and Meru in Klang. Kuala Selangor is the worst hit, with more than 500 residents evacuated to relief centres, followed by Shah Alam with 301 evacuees and Klang with 237. Members of the Shah Alam City Council Rapid Response Team have been actively monitoring the situation, including at Sungai Damansara. In Sungai Buloh, hundreds of residents from Taman Saujana Aman were evacuated after their homes were flooded since Monday morning. The evacuation process also involved several boats operated by personnel from the Bestari Jaya Fire and Rescue Station. For the latest flood situation in Selangor, Nightline's Muhammad Nadir Azfar is here with the updates. Nadir, you're now at Section 16 in Shah Alam. What have you got for us so far?
Yes, Muhammad. Currently, I am at Sekolah Kebangsaan Section 6, Sekolah Kebangsaan Shah Alam Section 16, where following heavy continuous rain since late Sunday night, which has persisted until late Monday afternoon, many places, and including schools such as this one I'm currently at, have been turned into a temporary relief center, or also known as PPS. Now, this particular center currently houses around 250 individuals, with more pouring into this place as I speak right now. Now, the victims have gone into their respective spaces to settle in for the night after a long day. However, the ones who have just arrived are currently being redirected to another temporary relief center, which have thankfully been opened nearby. Now, according to the Malaysian Meteorological Department, the weather forecast for tonight is that it is going to continue raining. Right now, it is currently raining, with the weather expected to remain the same until at least Tuesday.
So in terms of aid distribution, what did the victims receive on day one, and what more do you think they need now, based on your observation?
Well, I spoke to some of the evacuees earlier after I arrived, and they said that the aid that is provided is currently enough for the time being. They have been provided with the basic necessities such as pillows, mattresses, and basic personal care items. They have also said that the food and the drinks that have been provided has been more than enough. They have been receiving a number of meals and foods since they arrived at this temporary relief center.
And how are the children and the elderly coping with the situation at the relief center you're at right now?
Well, for the children and the elderly, I saw that quite a number, especially the children, I saw quite a number of them, they are settling in quite well. For the younger children, they haven't quite grasped the gravity of the situation yet, so they are just running around and playing with their friends at the relief center. Now, I saw there were quite a number of them. I saw about 60 to 70 of them within the compound. Now, as for the elderly, they are also still trying to adjust to the conditions. However, some of them, especially the elderly evacuees, are hoping for some medical supplies to be sent in soon, as some of them have forgotten their medication and supplements when they were trying to evacuate their residences.
Nadir, you said earlier that you spoke to some of the victims at the relief center. What more have they shared with you?
Yes, I spoke to some of the evacuees also earlier, and you know, most of them shared their experience of how they were trying to escape the flood waters and how they eventually made their way to this particular temporary relief center. Now, let's have a listen to what they had to say.
Kami pagi ada pergi kat rumah 11.30, saya nak pergi mengaji, kita boleh lalu lagi lah. Balik mengaji tu air dah mula naik, tapi kita boleh lalu lagi lah sampai kat rumah tu. Dia dah mula naik tu dalam pukul 10 ke 11 gitulah kot air dah naik tu kan. Sampailah pukul 4 pukul 3 lebih baru acik datang sini tadi lah.
Datang tadi pun naik motor lah, naik kereta memang tak boleh. Memang tak boleh jalan jam. Semua
kena
nak
ulang alik abang?
Kena ulang alik lah.
Berapa kali abang ulang alik?
2 kali. 2 kali lah.
Alhamdulillah rezeki yang kerajaan bagikan untuk kita semua ni.
Apa je barang-barang yang diorang bagi hari ni tak?
Hari ni macam toto, tikam, macam mandian, apa tuala. Akhirnya macam kita duduk sini komplit lah untuk kita. Mana kita datang sini memang tak bawa barang. Lepas tu bila dia dapat sini, alhamdulillah.
Well, Muhammad, I also spoke to some of the authorities and personnel on duty here, and they have called on the public to heed to the instructions being given, especially when the public are advised to evacuate their homes or premises, as it is for their own safety. Well, that's all I have for now. For the latest updates, I will provide you with the latest updates when I have them. That's all.
Right, thank you, Nadir Azfar, live from Shah Alam. Moving on, the Malaysian Meteorological Department, Met Malaysia, meanwhile has issued a continuous danger level rain warning for Perlis, several districts in Kedah, Kelantan and Besut in Terengganu, which is expected to persist until Wednesday. In a statement on Monday, the department said the affected areas in Kedah are Langkawi, Kubang Pasu, Kota Star, Pokok Sena, Padang Terap, Yan, Pendang and Sik. While in Kelantan, the areas involved are Tumpat, Pasir Mas, Kota Baru, Tanah Merah, Bachok, Machang and Pasir Putih. A continuous rain warning categorized as severe was issued for several areas in Kedah, Pulau Pinang, Perak, Kelantan and Terengganu. For the alert level warning, several districts in Perak, Pahang and Selangor are expected to experience continuous rain until November 26. In Thailand, more than 2,000 Malaysians stranded by severe floods in Hat Yai have successfully returned. The Malaysian Consul General in Songkhla, Ahmad Sarkawi, said they departed the country as water levels began to subside. He advised Malaysians who were still stranded to remain at their current locations until assistance arrived. In a separate development, the evacuation of 40 students and 4 lecturers from University Utara Malaysia, or UUM, who were also stranded in Hat Yai, had to be postponed due to continuous heavy rain. The group from UUM's Tunku Putri Intan Safina School of Accounting had been stranded since last Saturday while participating in the Thai-Malaysia Cultural Exchange 2025 program. UUM said coordination with the Malaysian Consulate General and local authorities could only resume once weather conditions improved. Meanwhile, the Thai city of Hat Yai has been declared a disaster zone along with other districts in southern Songkhla province as heavy rain continues to cause severe flooding. Rising waters have blocked major roads, isolating hotels and trapping tourists, while electricity, internet and water services have been disrupted for safety reasons. According to the Songkhla governor, the floods, which began on November 19th, have affected more than 465,000 people across 16 districts. Thailand's Tourism and Sports Ministry on Sunday launched a relief operation to deliver supplies to hotels and evacuate tourists using trucks and boats. Heavy rain is expected to continue in the region into Tuesday. Heavy rain has caused another slope in Seputeh, Kuala Lumpur to collapse, this time along Lorong Jugra Dalam at 4 p.m, about 4 kilometers from the first landslide at Taman United early Monday. It was reported that a 10-meter high slope next to Block D of the Sri Lempah flats had collapsed, damaging parked car, with firefighters from the Sri Petaling Fire and Rescue Station monitoring the situation. Earlier, residents from about 104 units from 2 apartment blocks in Taman United Seputeh were ordered to evacuate after soil movement following a landslide on a nearby slope. Seputeh Fire and Rescue Station Chief Hamdan said the incident affected 2 cars and several motorcycles, while 1 vehicle was buried in the landslide. 11 firemen from the Seputeh Fire and Rescue Station were deployed to the location.
Ada lagi landslide akan jatuh lagi lah sebab keadaan cuaca hujan. Tadi pun masa pagi tadi bila kita buat keputusan pun masih tengah hujan, masih ada lagi runtuhan tanah.
No casualties were reported in the 11 a.m. incident.
Saya pun lari lah, basah-basah lari tengok belakang kereta sudah tumbang kena bukit tanah runtuh lah. Lepas tu saya lari bawah sini, tengok sini pun kereta satu pun dah kena lah. Lepas tu lari-lari lah tolong orang.
Bimbang jugalah sebab perkara ni tak pernah terjadi. Kami duduk sini dah 15-16 tahun memang tak pernah terjadi benda macam ni. Tiba-tiba bila dah dapat telefon macam ni, panik dah sekejap. Tu yang bergegas balik. Bila balik pun dah tak boleh nak masuk parking. Polis semua dah tutup jalan kan.
Malaysia and Kenya have agreed to elevate their relationship into a strategic partnership aimed at ensuring Kuala Lumpur-Nairobi cooperation develops with clearer objectives and structure. The agreement was reached during a meeting between Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and Kenyan President William Samoei Ruto. At the start of his 2-day official visit, Anwar received a state welcome at the State House, the official residence of Kenya's president. The ceremony included a guard of honor and a 19-gun salute. Anwar and Ruto then held a private one-on-one meeting to discuss the future direction of bilateral relations and cooperation between the 2 countries. At a joint press conference later, the Prime Minister said Malaysia is ready to share its expertise in semiconductors as well as in the electrical and electronic sectors, while also learning from Kenya's rapid development.
The advantage of visits like this is that you prepare, you learn, relearn the new ventures, the new initiatives. And I have great belief that Kenya will be one of the stars in Africa.
Similarly, Ruto expressed admiration for Malaysia's transformation, describing it as a model for other nations.
Malaysia, which was an agricultural country like Kenya 60 years ago, today has an economy 20 times larger than ours, has an economy that is diversified, has a GDP per capita that is maybe also 20 times higher than ours. And we say this because we believe we can do it the same way your country did it.
He also agreed to visit Malaysia next year. In 2024, Kenya was Malaysia's 3rd largest trading partner in Africa, with trade valued at 5.7 billion ringgit, an increase of 1.2% from 5.51 billion ringgit the previous year. Upon his arrival in the capital Nairobi, Anwar was welcomed at a dinner hosted by President Ruto. In his speech, the Prime Minister praised Kenya's strong commitment towards eradicating poverty and providing affordable housing.
I am, like you, very passionate about poverty alleviation, about housing for the poor, for the masses. I learned this ambitious program, over 150,000 units of housing, affordable housing and housing for the poor. This exemplifies the spirit of remarkable leadership.
Both leaders also expressed their appreciation for the close friendship between Kuala Lumpur and Nairobi, which has endured for over 60 years. Senior citizen killed after iron shaft punctures car windscreen. This and more from the local front after this breather.
Apa kata kalau kita pergi Ipoh?
Melaka dengan Johor pun best juga.
Spek siapa yang tertinggal ni? Mana ambil lah.
Jual dadah melalui tingkap, suami isteri jadi dalang.
Tak ada. Ada bini. Jangan cakap awak. Kau buat kerja.
Terlantar sakit, tiada kerja. Helah di sebalik urus niaga haram.
Rumah ni memang tolak pun suruh kot tingkap kan.
Berapa satu paket je? Dia 30 beli kan.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Anem, kita sebagai ibu dan bapa jangan terlalu manjakan anak. Tapi sekarang rotan tak boleh, cubit tak boleh. Macam mana nak disiplinkan mereka?
Cucuk untuk kurus, jalan pintas untuk nampak cantik. Berbaloi ke?
Status perkahwinan yang meragukan. Jangan ambil mudah. Boleh beri kesan kepada nasab keturunan dan hal ehwal warisan.
Customer is not always right. Ketahui hak anda sebagai pekerja kalau pelanggan ambil kesempatan dan melampaui batas.
Isnin hingga Jumaat jam 10 pagi.
Hanya di TV3 dan ditonton.
Welcome back. European buyers do not have any negative perceptions of the suitability of Malaysian palm oil as a primary feedstock for sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF. Plantation and Commodities Minister Dr. Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said used cooking oil, which is widely utilized in SAF production, is recognized in Europe and accepted as a high-quality raw material. Johari explained that Malaysia, as the world's second-largest palm oil producer, held a strategic supply advantage in the emerging industry.
Used cooking oil ni dia bagi high grade, dia punya point untuk guna sebagai feedstock untuk sustainable aviation fuel. Dia memang dia recognize that part. So we have no issue on that. Nombor dua, kita pun ada Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil. Dia pun recognize Malaysia put an effort to make sure that every metric ton of kelapa sawit yang kita keluarkan, kita melalui proses sustainable through certification kita buat MSPO.
He was speaking to the media after visiting Malaysia's first SAF biorefinery in Pasir Gudang, Johor on Monday. The initiative is also part of the country's efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. In Batu Pahat, Johor, a 63-year-old man died on Monday after a 100-kilogram iron shaft from a tipper lorry became detached and struck a car, shattering its front windshield. The incident occurred at around 9 a.m. at Jalan Seri Bengkal near Seri Gading, claiming the life of Johari Murid. Batu Pahat District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Syahrul Anwar Mushadat Abdul Hassani said the iron shaft is believed to have come loose from a lorry travelling in the opposite direction before striking and puncturing the car's windshield. The impact caused severe head injuries to the victim, who was seated in the front passenger seat, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. The car driver, who is the victim's younger brother, aged 58, along with 3 other passengers, the victim's 2 sisters, aged 68 and 65, and his 58-year-old wife, were unharmed. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Now, 3 wanted armed robbers who were shot dead after attacking police officers in Durian Tunggal, Malacca early Monday morning are believed to have been involved in about 20 robberies targeting homes, factories and eateries. The trio, known as Gang DT, whose alleged criminal activities are thought to have led to losses of 1.3 million ringgit, are believed to have been active since 2024. Malacca Police Chief Datuk Zulkhairi Mukhtar said the 3 men aged between 24 and 29 were spotted during a police patrol at an oil palm plantation near Taman Tambun Perdana at around 4 a.m. Officers attempted to apprehend the suspects when one of them slashed a police corporal with a parang, leaving the cop with serious injuries to his left hand. Police had no choice but to open fire in self-defense, killing all 3 suspects at the scene. Zulkhairi also revealed the suspect's modus operandi involved moving on foot while carrying weapons to rob targeted premises in order to avoid detection by the police. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for attempted murder. Iconic Bollywood superstar dies at 89. The details when Nightline returns.
Belajar kini lebih semangat dengan TV Tuition. Lebih 5,000 video pembelajaran, lebih 100 hos hebat, terdiri daripada selebriti dan guru berpengalaman. Ulang kaji jadi lebih seronok dengan lebih 10,000 soalan latihan serta ulasan guru yang membantu anda faham dengan cepat dan mudah. Apa tunggu lagi? Langgan sekarang dan stream ditonton. TV Tuition, belajar ditonton, bijak sampai lulus.
Saya bukan nak kata apa Rumah mewah tu atuk saya.
Awak nampak macam pura-pura rendah diri tapi ada niat ni.
Nasi ayam, kuih tiaw goreng, pulut kuning semuanya sedap.
Jom, menu tapau kami bawakan Selasa nanti.
Berdikari bukan tanda kelemahan.
Jangan takut untuk hidup sendirian.
Isu ranah wajib diselesaikan dengan baik.
Jangan bergaduh, perbincangannya Khamis nanti.
Kekurangan itu pelengkap bahagia.
Pahit manis alam rumah tangga.
Semuanya di WHI TV3
dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
KT1 mempunyai kunci rumah tersebut dan mereka pergi ke situ untuk mengambil laptop.
Tikaman bukan saja di bahagian depan badan dia, kepala, badan belakang pun sangat dia cuba berangkat, dia kena tikam lagi.
Bila pertembungan tu berlaku, marah sangat. Campur pula dengan dah ambil syabu. Kombinasi-kombinasi ini yang mungkin menyebabkan perkara itu berlaku.
Welcome back. Hezbollah on Monday said Israel's attack had crossed a red line after the group confirmed that its top military commander, Haytham Ali Tabatabai, was killed in an Israeli airstrike on a residential building in Beirut. Senior Hezbollah official Mahmoud Kamati said Sunday's attack killed at least 4 others and injured dozens, with the organization's leadership now considering a response. He added that the attack was another violation of the ceasefire and accused Israel of escalating the conflict with the backing of the United States. Despite the ceasefire agreed in November, Hezbollah has continued to come under Israeli fire in southern Lebanon. At least 3 security personnel were killed and several others injured in Pakistan after 3 suicide bombers attacked the headquarters of a paramilitary force in Peshawar. The attack on the headquarters of the Federal Constabulary took place early on Monday. One of the fighters detonated their explosives at the complex gate, while security forces shot dead the other 2. A large number of personnel were gathered on the headquarters' open grounds for morning parade drills when the attack occurred. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack so far. Bollywood star Dharmendra Deol has died at the age of 89 in the Indian city of Mumbai. Dharmendra, survived by 2 wives and 6 children, had been ill for the past month and died at home on Monday. There was no official statement from the actor's family, but several of his contemporaries, including actor Amitabh Bachchan, gathered at a crematorium in the Mumbai suburb of Juhu for his funeral. Best known as Viru in the 1975 hit Sholay, he appeared in over 300 films, captivating audiences for decades. Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to the actor, saying his passing marks the end of an era in Indian cinema.
Morning, Mr. President.
Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat.
Switching to sports, football, the 2026 AFC Under-17 Asian Cup qualifiers. The national team secured their second consecutive win with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Hong Kong in Hanoi on Monday, keeping them atop Group C. After a goalless first half marked by tight defending and limited chances, the national team found the breakthrough in the second, with Iman Danish scoring the winner in the 65th minute. The goal secured 3 crucial points for Javier Horda Ribera's side, moving them to 6 points from 2 matches ahead of Vietnam and Hong Kong. Up next, they will face Macau on Wednesday. And turning to hockey, the 2025 Sultan Azlan Shah Cup. The national squad came from behind to secure a hard-fought 3-2 victory against Canada in their second round-robin match in Ipoh on Monday night. Akimullah Anwar put the Speedy Tigers ahead in the 5th minute before Canada pulled level 8 minutes later through Sean Davis. Matthew Sarmento extended Canada's lead in the 17th minute, but Muhammad Azrai Aizad equalized just 3 minutes later to make it 2-2. Faisal Sari then struck in the 25th minute to clinch a thrilling 3-2 comeback victory for Malaysia. And that wraps up this edition of Nightline. We leave you with visuals of Japanese citizens flocking to Utori Shrine in eastern Tokyo to buy decorative rakes, believed to bring good luck and prosperity during the annual Tori Noichi Festival. With that, I'm Muhammed. Hamdan. Thanks for watching and stay safe.